recording. So good evening. This is the Dolores County Broadcasting Network. The DCTV 4-H Evening News Program for September 18th, 2019. We have two camera people today. We have Brent and Aubrey. Video engineer and sound engineer and producer is Edward. Teleprompter and prompter is Myra. News anchors are Nolan and Tanner. Our meteorologist is Hannah, is looking at her cell phone. And this is news director Dan. And now the news.
Keep our news show on the air. Welcome to the DCTV 4-H Kids Evening News Show. To help us keep our news show on the air by becoming a sponsor, you can buy a sponsorship by calling 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Now for the news. Hi, I'm Nolan, and our first story is from the Durango Herald. Simple tweak to radar could improve weather forecasting in your region. Once blind spots for Colorado radar, southwest Colorado and the Four Corners may soon show up on the map. The National Weather Service is proposing to lower the elevation of one of its radar systems in Grand Junction to better home in on a slice of southwest Colorado, eastern Utah, and farther into the Four Corners. It will be a big improvement, said Jeff Colton, a warning coordination meteorologist for the NWS. The Four Corners has long been known as a blind spot when it comes to weather forecasting and radar modeling, as major hubs in Albuquerque, Grand Junction, and Flagstaff, Arizona, take in data at a far higher elevation than where storms usually linger. In Grand Junction, for instance, the radar system on Grand Mesa can't pick up storms that come into the Four Corners at elevations below 28,000 feet, which causes weather forecasters to miss a good number of incoming storms. Lowering one of its radar beams would help catch many of those areas, Colton said. If ultimately approved, he said, forecasting in Cortez, eastern Utah, and down into the Four Corners will vastly improve, and he said the proposal doesn't require any additional equipment and changes it's a simple software tweak to the system that was installed in 1995. The forecasters are pretty excited about it, and to be able to see areas we haven't seen since the radar was installed, Colton said. We said it could take 1 to 2 years before the project is implemented. The tweak, however, will not alleviate issues with La Plata County and Durango's blind spot issue, while areas around Silverton and Purgatory Resort may get better coverage. Colton said the mountains around Durango still block radar from the outside areas, but big changes are on the way. Earlier this year, it was announced a permanent weather radar system for the Durango area and beyond received funding, thanks to a $1.7 million grant from the Colorado Department of Local Affairs. Local officials say the need for a radar system in the region became critical after the 416 fire last summer created significant flood danger when storms hit the fire's burn scar north of Durango and in an area not picked up by radar. Megan Graham, La Plata County spokeswoman, said a preferred area has been identified and negotiations are ongoing with the landowner. She said there's no timeline for construction.
This story is from the Durango Herald. U.S. officials revised vaping illness count to 380 in 36 states. The U.S. government has refined how it is measuring an outbreak of breathing illness in people who vape, now counting only cases that are most closely linked to electric cigarette use. Health officials on Thursday said 380 confirmed cases and probable cases have been reported in 36 states and 1 U.S. territory. That marks a decrease from the 450 cited last week, when officials were also including possible cases. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and state officials have been investigating an outbreak that began materializing in the Midwest of July. U.S. officials revised vaping illness count to 380 in 36 states. The U.S. government has refined how it is measuring an outbreak of breathing illness in people who vape, now counting only cases that are most closely linked to electronic cigarettes. Health officials on Thursday said 380 confirmed cases and probable cases have been reported in 36 states and 1 U.S. territory. That marks a decrease from the 450 cited last week, when officials were also including possible cases. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and state officials have been investigating an outbreak that began materializing in the Midwest of July. Doctors say the illness resembled an inhalation injury when the body apparently reacted to a caustic substance that someone breathed in. Symptoms have included shortness of breath, fatigue, chest pain, diarrhea, and vomiting. Many young and previously healthy adolescents and young adults required machines to help them breathe. 6 deaths have been reported, all adults and at least some with pre-existing lung problems or other conditions that may have had them more susceptible. These cases look very much like overwhelming infection, like viral or bacteria pneumonia, but lab tests failed to find germs in lung fluids and blood, said Dr. Zach Moore, chief epidemiologist for the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. No single device, liquid, or ingredients has been identified as the cause of health officials, and health officials are advising people not to vape at all until more is known. A focus in the investigation has been customizable. Third-generation vaping devices, which allow users to load in different liquids for vaping. Many who got sick said that they had vaped liquids that contained THC, the high-inducing ingredients in marijuana. A special test done on lung fluids in some patients has turned up immune cells filled with oily droplets that points to inhaling vapors containing fatty oils. These state reporting vaping-related lung illnesses to the CDC are Arkansas, California, Colorado, Kentucky, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, North Carolina, North Dakota, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, Nevada, New York, Ohio, Oregon, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, and West Virginia, plus the U.S. Virgin Islands. Doctors say the illness resembled an inhalation injury, with the body apparently reacting to caustic substance that someone breathed in. Symptoms have included shortness of breath, fatigue, chest pain, diarrhea, and vomiting.
This story is from the Cortez Journal. Rare American marten sighted in LaSalle Mountains. A rare American marten has been documented in the LaSalle Mountains near Moab, reports the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources. Excuse me. One of our biologists has made an incredible finding, DWR announced September 2nd. In April, wildlife cameras set high in the mountains captured a footage of the marten, a member of the weasel family. It is the first credible sighting of the specific species in that area. Since the 1920s, biologists have been speculating that the range of American martens extended into the LaSalles. Now we have evidence they do, DWR official said. It's a pleasant surprise to discover at least a few of these remarkable creatures living in southwestern Utah. They can be found in mature northern forests of Utah. Biologists were thrilled to find the creature in the relative geographic isolation of the LaSalle Mountains. Because of its limited distribution, the American marten is a protected species. American martens are a fur-bearing mammal about 2 feet in length with a yellowish to brown color. They occur in much of Alaska and Canada, with a range existing into the contiguous United States. They build dens in logs, hollow trees, and rock crevices. Females give birth in spring to a litter between 1 and 5 young. Litters are smaller when food is scarce. American martens are typically solitary animals that may cover great distances each day looking for food. They prey on squirrels and rodents, but also consume birds, insects, and fruits. Utah Bear Rescue also this month in Grand County, Utah, hikers came upon a young black bear trapped in a sandstone hole. Conservation officer Adam Wallerstein and a volunteer responded to the scene and were able to free the bear by coaxing him up a makeshift ladder. That was caught on video. It was unclear how long the bear had been trapped, but the Bruin devoured a snack of peaches thrown in the hole.
This story is from the Pine River Times. Bardee Wranglers make big splash in the New York Times. Yee-haw, yippee-ki-yay, the Bardee Wranglers chuck wagon made the cover of the New York Times art section. Page C1 on Saturday. Prime real estate, too. The top 2/3 of the C1 were devoted into 3 photographs and a teaser box to a story on page C2 about the chuck wagons of the West Association 43rd Annual Chuck Wagon Jamboree, which was held September 3rd at the Bardee Chuck Wagon, 8080 East Animas Road, County Road 250. The article by Benjamin Rasmus said camaraderie among West singing groups is strong. Nothing several of the brands joined forces at the after party at Francisco Restaurant Cantina to perform several songs highlighting by Merle Haggard's Have You Ever Been to Colorado? Touted in the article is the entertainment value provided by Chuck's wagons across the West. Cowboy songs, good grub, and corny jokes. Besides the chicken breast and roast beef dinner, a staple at the Bardee attendees got a great night of music under the stars and chance to hear jokes like, did you know that when cows get scared they hide in trees? What are you talking about? I have never in all of my years seen a cow in a tree.
Our dumb laws segment are actual laws still on the books in many states, cities, and municipalities. This means that these laws are technically still legal. Dumb laws in California cities. Alhambra, you cannot leave your car on the street overnight without the proper permit. In Arcadia, peacocks have the right of way to cross any streets, including driveways. In Baldwin Park, nobody is allowed to ride a bicycle in a swimming pool. In You can't ride a bicycle in a swimming pool. In Belvedere City, councilor order reads, no dog shall be in a public place without its master on a leash. We would like to see this in practice. Who puts the leash on the master? Who does put the leash on the person? In Blythe, you are not permitted to wear cowboy boots unless you already own at least 2 cows. Fair enough. In Burlington, it is illegal to spit, except on baseball diamonds. In Carmel, a man can't go outside while wearing a jacket and pants that do not match. Women may not wear high heels while in the city limits. Now for our weather report with Hannah.
Our current weather data comes from the DCTV weather station located in the beautiful downtown Duff Creek. The current temperature is 74 degrees. The high for today was 74 degrees. The low was 52 degrees. The barometer is at 29.78 inches and is falling. Humidity is at 28%. Wind is between 1 and 10 miles per hour from the northwest. Gusts have been up to 26 miles per hour. There was 0.00 of an inch of moisture today. In the DCTV weather station, moisture for the month is 54/100 of an inch. Moisture accumulation for the year is 10.23 inches. Now for the National Weather Service. Rain and thunderstorms are covering most of the Pacific Northwest. North. And then west. And halfway through California and Nevada. California. My finger isn't moving where it's supposed to go. From Montana and North Dakota south into Texas and Mexico, the parts of Texas is clear. Texas. In the same area, there are thunderstorms and rain. From North Dakota into Michigan and from North Dakota into Michigan and south into Texas, Louisiana, western Mississippi, and the rain and thunderstorms are back. North Dakota. Mississippi. The western coast of the inland is clear except for the following areas of rain with thunderstorms. From Kentucky into central Virginia, the narrowing down into Georgia, then spreading out to cover Alabama. The Lord is, and Lord, there is more rain and thunderstorms. Georgia and Alabama. Along the Atlantic coast from North Carolina into New York. What? Is catching a narrow part of the coast. Quite a bit of the Gulf and Atlantic states where there is rain is due to Hurricane Humberto. Here is our exclusive DCTV 5-day forecast. Thursday, rain. Thursday, thunderstorms, high 77, low 50. Friday, breezy, high 70, low 41. Saturday, sunny, high 68, low 41. Sunday, mostly sunny, high 73, low 45. Monday, thunderstorms, high 70, low 43. Now for a climate change report. Okay. CO2, carbon dioxide, is considered a greenhouse gas and is one of the principal causes of climate change. CO2 traps heat in the atmosphere, which causes climate instability. This results in significant variations worldwide of moisture and hot and cold temperatures. But the general climate trend is the planet is slowly warming. Therefore, it is important that we report the CO2 weekly change. The following are the CO2 numbers in parts per million. Last week, 408.59. 2 weeks ago, 408.8. Last year, 405.31. 10 years ago, 384.69. 50 years ago, 322.38. Thank you, Dr. Peter Tanz, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and Michael McGee of the CO2.Earth Network for providing this information. Remember, you can help keep our kids' news show on air by buying a sponsorship. To become a sponsor, just call 970-677-4119. That's 970-677-4119. Now back to your news director.
And that is the end of today's DCTV 4-H Evening News Show. This is your news director, Dan, saying good night and thank you for watching.